What is going on, fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives and Make Money Online Training Podcast. This is the #1 podcast for online fitness coaches who are trying to grow a successful online business. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about this idea of sometimes you need to press reset when it comes to your mindset and being able to be successful at whatever it is that you're trying to do. So I want to read out a rating I got on the podcast from Scio Saints. The rating said, "This is extremely useful. This podcast has given me a much better mindset and an understanding of marketing/social media. Good thing there's another 300 episodes I can listen to." Yo, I appreciate that. Thank you for the rating, Scio Saints. I want to give back to my community. So if you're in the podcast community and you're getting value from listening to my podcasts and you want to win $1,000 cash, all you have to do is screenshot any podcast episode, share it to your Instagram stories, tag me at BMarkFit. Let me know that you're tuning in, and I'm going to enter you to win $1,000 cash just for listening to the podcast because I love you. All right. Now, out of curiosity, online fitness coaches that are tuning into this live stream right now, how many of you guys have ever had days where you literally feel like you can't get anything done? Like you just literally feel like there's a complete mental block on your brain. It's like you want to work on your online fitness business and you know you want to make more money and you know you want to reach more people and you know you need to post on social media, but for whatever reason, when you sit down to work on your online business, you just can't get any work done. How many of you guys have felt like that before? Where it's just like you try to write a post for social media and you try to get like your post, you're trying to get your content done and you're just like, I have no idea what I'm going to write. I've got no creative ideas flowing to me and I feel absolutely stuck and I'm just like in this funk and I'm frustrated and I just feel like I can't get anything done. Now I feel that hard because I know exactly what that feels like and I went through that today. So I'm going to share with you guys what I did to overcome it. And in this podcast episode, I want to give you guys like the fundamental frameworks to be able to break out of your funk. All right. So to be able to break out of your funk, I want to give you guys the ability to like have a bad day or a shitty day or just like a day where nothing's clicking. I want you guys to be able to like turn it around. Right. And my goal is to be able to help you guys generate momentum when there's no momentum so that every day, day after day, you gain momentum, strength, and confidence. And with that momentum, strength, and confidence, you know that like no matter what funk you catch yourself in, you will be able to get yourself out of it. So today, we're going to walk you guys through how to reset yourself when you're having a little bit of an off day. Now, before we talk about reset, I'm just going to be transparent with you guys. I had a little bit of an off morning this morning. And the reason I had a little bit of an off morning is because right now I'm like in a state of transition. So recently on my TikTok, I started, so I was posting 3 to 5 TikToks a day. And the TikToks that I was posting were like motivational content, like talking about like my addiction. I'm still posting some of that stuff, but I wasn't posting like any business related content. But then I started to notice that I was getting I was starting to get a lot of like DMs on Instagram being like, "Hey, like Brian, can you help me, change my life? Like I'm struggling with a drug addiction." And like that, I was getting like more DMs than I could like handle when it came to that. And I was like, it's because I'm putting out the wrong type of content, right? Like I'm putting out content that's just related to that. So that's what, that's the type of audience that I was attracting. And as much as I really do want to help people, like my goal isn't to be a motivational speaker right now. That's like a 7 to 10 year goal. So I needed to change up my content strategy on TikTok. But changing up my content strategy on TikTok was causing my views to go down because my audience was used to me putting out content for motivational stuff. So I decided to change up my content strategy on TikTok. Now, one of the things I'm doing on TikTok, and you guys can steal this idea if you want to, I don't care. One of the things I'm doing on TikTok is I'm going live during my workouts. And I'm just replying. I'm just like talking to people while I'm going live. So I've got a guy that comes with me to the gym and he films me at 5:30 in the morning. And he's like talking. I'm like, the live stream's going and he is talking to me and I'm on the live stream and then he reads out questions. So it's like, it's cool, but it's a lot different. It's a lot different than what I used to do is just like work out by myself. And so I got super thrown off today because I'm doing something new and it requires a lot more energy. And my day was a little bit thrown off. before we get into like what I did to recover today, I want to walk you guys through my current morning ritual, because in order to like make sure that you don't get into a funk, step number one is to make sure that you have a morning ritual. So I'm going to walk you guys through my morning ritual, and then I'm going to talk about how to get out of a funk. Is that cool? Okay, so my morning ritual is I wake up at 3:30 a.m. every single day, and I do cardio or I stretch for 10 minutes. So the reason I wake up at 3:30 a.m. every single day is because I feel like it gives me a jump start on accomplishing my goals. Like right now it's 10 a.m. PST, and I've already been up for 6.5 hours. So I've already put out content on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Now I'm going live on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and I'm recording the podcast. So I feel like it gives me a jump start. So I wake up at 3:30 a.m. and then I do cardio or stretching because I like to get into my body right away. And I like to get out of my mind right away. So that's how I start my morning. After I do that, I do 15 minutes of studying, and then I meditate. And so for me, it's absolutely essential. I study every single morning, whether that be like whatever book it is that I'm reading at the time. I'll read it for like 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'll meditate for 15 minutes. I like to cleanse my mind to start the day to make sure that I'm always in a positive mindset. And then after that, I write down my goals as accomplished. So goals as accomplished means that like I take my goals for the year, like the goals that are on my vision board, and I write them down like they're already accomplished. Like this year I made X dollars. This year I married the love of my life and we're so happy. This year I did these. So I write them down as they're already accomplished. So I do this every single morning. Now, this is my morning routine that I do every single day, 7 days a week. Wake up and wake up and cardio, then study and meditate. And then I write down my goals every single morning, 7 days a week. Now, I do this every morning so that I get myself into a good mental state so I can accomplish my goals. However, there's like online fitness coaches, there's no such thing as perfect. And there's going to be days where you're thrown off your game, even if you're working on your mindset. So for those of you guys that aren't yet working on your mindset, you're like, I haven't committed to a morning ritual yet. Like that's fucking step one. Like if you're feeling like you're in a funk right now and you don't have a morning routine, it's likely that that's the cause of it. But this podcast episode is for you if you do have a morning routine, but then you catch yourself in a funk in the middle of the day and you don't know how to snap yourself out of it. Because there's no such thing as perfect, right? And there's going to be days where no matter how much you like work on your morning ritual or how much you're journaling or how many times you meditate, like there's going to be days where you're just thrown off and you just don't feel good. So what do you do when you're thrown off? Like, what do you do when you sit down at your computer and you're like, I have no idea what to write? What do you do when like your brain just isn't working properly? What do you do when you catch yourself like in like a bit of a funk and you just can't get out of it? Okay. So for me, I recently committed to going live every single morning during my workout. I'm going live around like 5:30 a.m. to like 5:45 a.m. And so I spent the first 30 minutes of my day interacting with like, there was like 40 humans that tuned in my live stream. I was just like answering questions and stuff. And then after the gym, I was like, okay, I don't want to talk to anyone because I'm like, I just went live for like 30 minutes. And then after I went live, I ended up going live on the Iron Energy Instagrams too. So I was doing a lot of social media work in the morning. So after the gym, I was like, yeah, I don't want to fucking talk to anyone. I'm just like, good. I'm like, I need to go home and like relax. So I like come home to relax and I jumped in the shower. It made me feel better. And then I come into my office and my dog had shat on my floor. So I'm like, I like walk into my office and I like look at my floor. I'm like, oh, cool. There's like dog shit. So I went from like, I was like, it was a different morning because I'm doing live streams. And then I was like not in a mood to talk to anybody. And then I came home and there was like dog shit on my floor. And I was like, okay. I'm like, I just couldn't get myself out of it. Then I like sat down. Who here has ever done this now, right? I sat down at my computer, and after sitting down at my computer, I like literally stared at my screen for like 15 minutes, and I was like nothing happened. Like I don't even know what the fuck I was doing. I think I was just like literally staring at my computer, just like blankly, just not doing anything. Have any of you guys ever had these moments where you just like, you sit down to work and it's like your brain literally stops working? Like for me, I sat down to work and like I wanted to write some content. I was actually trying to write this podcast for you guys. Funny story. But I was trying to write and I just sat down and just like my brain just like, I was like, that wasn't functioning. I'm like, nothing's coming out here. All right. Like no matter how much I stare at this screen, like nothing productive's happening. So that was me today. So out of curiosity, have any of you guys ever had a bad day and instead of working, you want to like nap for a couple hours, or maybe you just want to watch TV, or maybe you just want to have a glass of wine, You know what I mean? Like if you like, have any of you guys ever had something like that happen where you're just like, I would rather not work today. I would rather just like, just do something completely different. If you have, let me know. So I felt like that today. Like when I was sitting at my computer and I'm just like fucking staring at my screen, just like, fuck, I just don't want to do anything. I was like, okay, this is how I'm feeling right now. I'm like, but like, I want to get shit done today. I'm like, and I have a podcast that is happening at 10 a.m. PST. So I got to have something before this podcast starts at 10 a.m. PST. So I got to do something. So today we're going to talk about the reset. Now, guys, for me personally, when we're talking about sitting down and like, if you're in a funk right now and you're like sitting down at a computer, you can't really think of anything, which happens to the best of us. I think that there are times when you push through and get shit done. And then there's also times that you need to press reset. So for me, I called Corey and I was like, yo, bro, like I'm just not fucking feeling it right now. Like straight up. Like I just told him I was like, my dog shat on my floor. I'm like, I've got a new like routine right now. And I'm going live on TikTok and I'm going live on Instagram, on Iron Energy. And I'm like fucking pretty exhausted. I'm not really feeling it. And so whenever my clients message me and say this, I always say the same thing back to them. So I told him that and he's like, well, did you meditate today? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, that's literally what I say to my clients. If like my clients message me and they're struggling, I'm like, okay, like, especially in the mastermind, once you join the mastermind, like if you're struggling, the first question I always ask you is like, how's your morning ritual? And I was like, yeah, I meditated. He's like, good, like do it again. And I was like, fuck. So I was like, I reluctantly took that advice to like sit down and meditate again, because like nobody likes hearing that. Like if you're having a shitty day, like you don't want to hear like, just meditate or like go for a while. Like you don't want to hear that's like advice where you're like, oh, fucking, you're like annoyed to even think about it. So I just like reluctantly, I was like, whatever, dude. Like, okay. I like put on my headphones. I meditated. And my client Brady sent me this like meditation. It was really cool. So it was like 10 minutes long, but boom, I like came out of my meditation and this was at 9 a.m. and I was feeling like super clean and super clear and super sharp. And I was like ready to tackle the day. And literally all it took was like a 10-minute reset. All it took was this like 10-minute meditation. And right after this 10-minute meditation, and guys, if you're not sure what 10-minute meditation you should do, you can literally go to Google and search 10-minute like guided meditation, and you can find one that would work, which would get you out of your funk, which means you can post on social media, which means you'll make more money. Like this shit actually really matters. And so it was 10 minutes. I come out of my meditation feeling like clean, clear, and sharp. And like, guys, like your mindset is fucking everything. Like straight up. It's like the most important thing when it comes to working on your online business. So many online fitness coaches are like, what's the best strategy to like land more clients? And that's why a lot of online fitness coaches are failing, because you can literally have the best strategy placed right in front of you for your coaching business, a step-by-step blueprint. But if you're not right in the mind, and when you sit down to work, you're like mentally struggling, you're like not able to post, you're like in a funk, you like can't get yourself out of it. Like that will kill you faster than a shitty strategy will. Like you can have a terrible strategy, like DMing 100 clients a day is a terrible strategy, but you can have a terrible strategy with a good mindset and you'll succeed. But you can have the perfect strategy with a shitty mindset and you will fail every single time. So mindset is everything. Once you join the 10K master, so I've got two programs. I got the 10K Academy, which is for newer online coaches that are looking to get their business to $10,000 a month. And then I've got the 10K Mastermind, where I take students that are like above 5K and I help them double their income. So once you're in the 10K Mastermind, it is literally like a necessary part of the mastermind is like doing a morning ritual every single morning, because it puts your mindset in a good place. However, even when you guys work on your morning ritual, like even when you get to a place where you're like meditating every single day and you're like gratitude, etc., like sometimes shit's just going to throw you off. Like, I don't know how many of you guys have a dog, or like a dog that like poops on your carpet, but I do. So like my dog just like pooped on my office desk and I was like, cool, like that's awesome. Like, thank you for that. So sometimes it happens. And so sitting down to work and while you're triggered or thrown off can be super difficult, because content creation is a creative process. And so is coaching. Like if you're an online fitness coach, you need to work with other humans, like you need to interact with them. And that's a creative process. And so if you're stuck in your own head and you're not able to like process what's going on in your mind, then it's going to be really hard for you to coach. It's going to be really hard for you to get on sales calls. It's also going to be really hard for you to write content. And so sitting down to bringing triggered is not good. Sometimes you need to take a step back so you can take 3 steps forwards. And guys, I know what it feels like to be triggered, or like when you're thrown off, or when you're sad, or when you're upset, when you're anxious. Like, you don't want to work on your fucking mindset because you're like feeling anxious or sad or overwhelmed, whatever. But sometimes you need to reset. And so, online fitness coaches, if you're ever feeling like you're sitting blankly at your computer screen and you can't get anything done, or you ever feel like you want to take the whole day off and you just want to nap and you don't want to do the rest of your to-do list, or you ever feel like you'd rather like turn on your TV and watch Netflix rather than like working on your online business, even though you know you want to be successful, like like, first of all, you need to reset. But whenever I'm thinking about this kind of shit, I always think about what will happen if I do that. So I'm like, okay, what happens if I just skip working and watch Netflix every time I feel bad or every time I don't want to? If I skip work and I watch Netflix every time I don't feel good, like over the course of the next 3 to 5 years, like I'm going to end up failing at my business at some point. Like slowly but surely, my business will lose momentum. And then I might have to go to work at a job that I don't like, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? Like, it's absolutely so important that we get ourselves to do the work that we don't want to do, especially on the days that we don't want to do it. So like, what happens if I do that? Like, if I end up skipping work every single day for the next 365 days, what's going to happen? My business is going to fail. Do I want that? No. So I have to reset, right? Like, and a lot of online coaching, guys, is like is straight up discipline. Like, I get the feeling of like wanting to skip out on your commitments. And even coming on this podcast, like I wasn't super stoked to get on the podcast, but I made a commitment to show up every single day. And a commitment means that like I do what I say I'm going to do, even when the mood has left you. So today it was like a reset. So if you catch yourself sitting at your computer screen blankly and not wanting to do any work, instead of like fucking opting out, which is the easy way out, and being like, oh, I don't want to work today, I'm not feeling it. Like reset. Go for like a 20-minute walk, right? Just like get out of your house and go for a walk, get some fresh air. That's helped me a lot before. Listen to a 10-minute meditation. That's what I did today. Take your dog who shits on your floor for a walk, which we're not going to talk about that guy. Okay. Me and Fluff we're on negative terms. He goes outside a lot. He still likes to poop on my floor. Go for a 20-minute drive and listen to some music, but reset yourself, right? So guys, in summary, mindset is so important, and it's not talked about in the online coaching space as much as it needs to be. Everybody's thinking strategy. So every new online coach is like, how do I get more leads? How do I land more clients? But it's likely that your mindset's off in the first place, because consistency is the main ingredient in success. And a lot of people are missing that. Mindset is everything. Morning routine will set you up for success, but sometimes you're still going to get triggered, right? So even if you're meditating every morning, even if you're reading a book every morning, even if you're working on your goals every morning, sometimes something's going to happen that's still going to trigger you. And so when you get triggered, my prompt for you is, instead of, just being like, oh, I'm just going to put my head down and grind it out, and like ignoring how you're feeling, or maybe instead like you're the person that just like grinds through how you feel, right? So that maybe that's you, or maybe you're the person that like every single time you're like having an off day, you just fucking call it quits on your to-do list and you piece the hell out. Like, maybe instead of doing either one of those things, what would you do to reset? Like reset, like recharge, right? Like refocus. And then you can reattack the day with a clear mind. All right, guys, that's it. That's all. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Change Lives Make Money Online Trainer podcast, the #1 show for online fitness coaches who are trying to grow successful online business. If you got value from today's episode, go ahead and screenshot this podcast episode, share it to your Instagram stories, tag me at BMarkFit. Let me know that you're tuning in. I'm giving away $1,000 cash on March 30th, 2021. Peace, love, protein. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Let's go. What up, fam? Just went for a run. Problem solved. There we go. Sometimes you guys need to reset. Sleep's important too. I slept for 8 hours today. I did sleep for 8 hours. Poor art. Ooh, that's interesting. Poor art. Guys, anything that you can do to like reset your creativity. Like I get the mentality behind like put your head down and grind. I've done that as well. But like if you're hitting a creative block and you're just like, yo, I can't fucking work on my business right now. It's like struggling. I'm struggling right now. Like take a reset, just relax, just hang out, just chill, just like whoosah. So I get it because I've been there. Maddie Athletics is like, I'm literally out walking right now. I love that. And I do get sometimes I get the mentality behind grinding, but sometimes it's just like, yo, just reset, go for a walk, take your dog for a walk. Just like relax, chill, Draw. Yeah, Cindy, draw. Exactly. Take out your pen and paper and just draw a journal. Right. So that's freaking so cool. Janelle's like, Janelle, I can't step away is a mindset. I'm going to challenge that. I can't. What do you mean I can't? What would you say to your client if they said I can't go to the gym? What are you talking about? Lies. It's a mindset. Okay, guys, thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I appreciate you so much. Shoaib. So I'm still doing sober February, guys. It's been 25 strong days now. 25 strong days. Let's go. Them gummies was an outlet, dude. I feel you. I was the same way, bro. Like when I'd be stressed, I would just like have a glass of wine. But that's just like the easy way out, right? Like, and that's why sober February has been so good. Is because it's really challenged me to like level up the way that I'm thinking. So cool, guys. Hope you get value. Rejoice, baby. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Have the best day ever, and I'll talk to you soon. Deuces.